3. We'll establish a quorum. Ms. Barnett? Present. Present.
Present.
Thank you, Ms. Barnett. All rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. So we'll move on to item number 2, public recognition. Mr. Trahan?
Good evening, Board President
Good evening.
Roberts and Superintendent Triplett. Before we get into recognitions this evening, we do have a performance that we would like to show to the board members in honor of School Board Appreciation. So Ms. Palmer, take it from here. Thank you.
Take it up there. Give it to the lady. All right. Tell me when. You gotta cut it on.
I need this row to step down one, and I need you to step down onto the step. Thank you. All right. Do what we practiced. Good evening to everyone. I'm ready. And to the board, and thank you for all that you do. I'm Suzanne Palmer, and I am the Fine Arts Director in the Normandy Schools Collaborative, and I welcome you. I've only seen you once, Dr. Triplett, but we're glad to have you here in Normandy. I am a Normandy alum, been here for many, many years. And before COVID, and then during COVID, we lost our middle school choir. And so tonight, if you've ever had middle schoolers before, yes, these are our middle school students. They will be singing tomorrow night at our Fine Arts Showcase at Viking Hall. I'd like to take the opportunity to invite the entire community to Viking Hall tomorrow evening at 7 o'clock, where all of our fine arts students will perform, from orchestras to band and all of the choirs. We're putting the band back together, so they say. So here's the Normandy Schools Collaborative Honors Middle School Choir. That's a mouthful. I just don't want to take all the credit. Tomorrow night, you'll hear all of the elemental students in the elemental choir. I'd like right now for Max Jansen to stand up. He is a second-year teacher with Normandy, and these are some of his students as well from Washington Elemental School as well. Tomorrow night, you will also hear Lucas Crossing and Obama join us. Thank you so much.
Jesse.
Yeah, right.
The principal from Obama, Barack Obama School. We've got ELC. Oh, nope, sorry. And we have Belnor. So they have gifts that they would like to hand out. We'd like to move on to recognitions now. We have four Normandy High School wrestlers who qualified for the Missouri State Tournament, which took place last month. We have more than four of the wrestlers here today, but they were joined by Coach Baker. We want to congratulate Demetrius Crawford, Marlo James, Irvin Perryman, and Stefan Cody on a great season. So if we can have and we also want to have say congratulations to Normandy High School senior Maury Sullivan, who accepted a scholarship from Washburn University. He will play football. He'll play football next year. Sullivan was named Offensive Player of the Year as a senior after recording 22 total touchdowns for the Vikings and was a first-year All-League pick as a junior. So we know he's going to have a great future ahead of him. And I also, this is not in the official records, but we received word today, so I wanted to share this with everyone. We'd like to congratulate Normandy High School junior Alexandra Belton. We recognized her in January. She was the culinary student from Normandy High School. She placed, winning a gold medal in the Region 5 Culinary Arts Star event. She did. So we recognized her in January. After winning the regional level, she placed gold at the state level. And so that was just announced today. She's moving on to the national competition in Denver this summer, and she will again compete for the gold. We want to congratulate Alex. And we do have a representative from Lucas Crossing here who would like to present a gift as well. And Washington. And Belnor.
Keep them
All
coming.
the schools,
Keep them coming.
please.
Oh.
All the schools that are here, please.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Wow. Man. Thank you. This is overwhelming. This is a little overwhelming.
I'd like to say good evening to our distinguished board members, Dr. Triplett, superintendent, community partners, and everyone that's gathered here this evening. I'm Principal West at Belnor Elementary. This is my freshman year here in Normandy Schools Collaborative, and I am elated to be here in the Normandy Schools Collaborative community. We at Belnor just wanted to tell you how much we appreciate it, each and every one of you all. Today is 314 Day. So we are representing 314 area code, St. Louis, Missouri. And so we thought in conjunction with that, we would be a little creative and present you all with a personalized basket of some 314 items that are specific to the St. Louis metropolitan area. So we have the contents in there, of course, is our St. Louis Cardinal Visor, Fit Soda, Red Hot Riplets, as well as a St. Louis author who wrote the book The Night Before Christmas in St. Louis style, and a portrait of the St. Louis metropolitan area and the community abroad. So we hope that you all receive this gift from us, Belnor community, and we thank you for all of your support. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. West, and thank you, Dr. West, and the principals of our other fine schools as well. It is always a pleasure to open up our meetings with the talents of our students and our educators that teach them well. And to be, it's a little overwhelming to be showered with gifts today. So we are very much appreciative of it. And any other board members have comments before we move? Thank you. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you to all.
Good evening.
We have two of our board members that have some additional comments under public recognition. So I'll yield the floor to Ms. Patton and then to Mr. Humphrey.
So good evening.
Good evening.
I would like to recognize, though she is not in attendance this evening, Lynn Squires, who is an 8th grade teacher at Washington, who is also an alum of Howard University, as am I. And we had 46 students from Howard here last week for alternative spring break. And they spent their time tutoring and hanging out with the students at Washington. So though she is not here, I think she needs to be recognized because it is quite an effort to coordinate with the university and then to get the students here and get them fed and get them housed. And for the pictures that she sent me, you could see the enthusiasm of both the students and then there was also and thank you, Mr. Communications, for the coverage that was on Channel 5 and also on Channel 2 around alternative spring break with the students from Howard University.
Thank you, Ms. Patton. Mr. Humphrey.
I want to take this time to acknowledge the passing of Nancy Marie Hartman on Friday, February 17th. Nancy was a servant leader that was interested in social justice, who strongly advocated for our schools, serving almost 10 years on the Normandy School District School Board. She was a passionate advocate for children, making sure her decisions on the board were to the benefit of the students. Nancy was also prepared for board meetings, researching items before the board because she wanted her decisions to be well informed. For example, she thoroughly analyzed the pros and cons of a policy related to our student dress code and successfully lobbied for its implementation. She was a force in our community, using her influence to help create and pass the parental neglect ordinance by coalescing the child behavior ordinances in the 24 municipalities. She was also responsible for the dedication of the baseball field behind Lucas Crossing, naming it as the Cool Papa Bell Field. Nancy was a beautiful, generous soul who loved and cared for her family, husband, friends, and community. She left a lasting imprint on those of us who had the pleasure of working with her, and I can call her my friend. I would ask that we would have a moment of silence in her honor. Thank you for taking this time to remember Nancy Hartman.
Thank you, Mr. Humphrey. We'll move on to item number 3. I'll entertain a motion to adopt the agenda. It's been moved and properly seconded that we adopt the agenda. All in favor, aye. Opposed, which? The ayes have it, so moved. Moving on to item number 4, board operations, the municipal partnership update. And while we're waiting for Mayor Jackson to proceed to the podium, I just want to publicly recognize the first meeting that we're having with our new Mr. SGNC, Straight Goodness No Chaser, Dr. Triplett here. So I just wanted to welcome Dr. Triplett at the first board meeting of the NJEGB. Mayor Jackson.
Good evening to everyone, to our new superintendent, Dr. Triplett, and to board president and other board members, to all parents and teachers and those community leaders and those who serve in our community. 24-1 Municipal Partnership, we join in the efforts of what we are trying to do here in Normandy first, moving forward from this point on, getting to where we would like to be. There are a number of things that have been happening surrounding us building up the footprint that we call the Normandy School, that we call 24-1, 23 municipalities in one school district. First and foremost, during March's 24-1 Municipal Partnership meeting, UMSL provided an update on the South Campus redevelopment by presenting results from their community survey. The survey launched in December of 2022, and to date, UMSL has heard from almost 1,000 individuals, from students, faculty, and staff and community members. Takeaways of top needs identified from the survey include childcare for children under the age of 13, affordable and quality apartments and housing, and access to high quality but smaller grocery stores. UMSL is analyzing the results from that survey, and they will conduct a market feasibility study before deciding what redevelopment will take place on the South Campus. 24-1 Municipal Partnerships, we have been involved in these discussions from the beginning, sometimes early on Saturday mornings, talking about what we would like to see on those acres of land, those 35 acres of land that they will clear and build upon, and we look forward to that. Also, I'll come back after my cohort Dr. E.G. Shields. Mayor E.G. Shields is mayor of Pagedale, and he will be coming to talk about something else that's great that's coming to our footprint. And so I'll let him come, and then I will come back and then finish out our report.
Thank you very much, and to our superintendent and to the board, all of the faculty, people that are here, and educators and the like, and of course to Mayor Jackson and other elected officials. I walked into my office this morning. I said to the people in my office, don't confuse me with Ray Charles or either Stevie Wonder. I had to go to the doctor and have a procedure done, so I didn't want to miss tonight, so I put on these funny-looking glasses. In Pagedale, I bring you greetings from the great city of Pagedale. On the corner of Ferguson and Page, we call it just simply the Page, which is tantamount to the Loop, the riverfront, the Hill. We call it the Page. And there we have a grocery store that will be opening on the 21st of this month, which is next Tuesday. 5 o'clock in the evening. Would that all of you that can and will come by and be a part of it. There's some treats, there's some great things happening there on the 21st. Do come by. And not only on that day, but come back constantly, because none of these businesses can thrive and succeed if we don't patronize them. And so come and patronize them. Come to the page and see what we're doing. Thank you all very much, and a bit much success to the superintendent and to this board. Bless you.
Thank you, Dr. Shields.
We thank Dr. E.G. Shields. We do want to say one of the major things about 24/1 Municipal Partnerships, we work together to bring about change in our community. We've brought movie theaters, restaurants, we've brought clinics, we've brought banks, we've bought senior apartment buildings, we've bought Black-owned businesses. We had a supermarket, it closed down and left many of the community without a supermarket close to go to, and now we have a supermarket coming back. It is very important as we talk about wanting things in our community, that we understand that when we patronize those businesses in our community, those dollars stay in our community. When we go outside of our community and patronize those businesses, that money stays in another community. The money you spend in your own community serves you. And so we would invite every board member, every parent, every friend of this community to come and spend some of that disposable income in our community. And we'll continue to grow to bring about things so that people don't have to go so far out of their community in order to enjoy things, that they'll be right here in their own footprint. The other thing that we wanted to talk about tonight was our multi-jurisdictional transportation development district. One of the things that we're doing, and it's a very smart thing that we're doing, and it's been recognized all the way up to the governor. But this TDD, as it's called, is, as previously shared, the goals of it is to increase capacity for the 24/1 municipalities by creating additional revenue to address transportation needs, including ongoing maintenance, capital improvements, and special projects, a direct impact to the Normandy Schools Collaborative and the entire 24/1 community. When things look better, when your streets look better, when your sidewalks look better, when your street lighting is better, when your bus stops are better, then you feel better about your neighborhood. There's a study done called the broken window syndrome, and it talked about how people treat buildings once a window is broken, or how they treat a neighborhood when they see properties run down and windows broken and things of that nature, and then how they automatically treat communities that are well kept. And so we want this footprint to be a well-kept community, and that takes all of us. One of the other things that we're doing, lastly, on March 31st, and I'll be talking more with Ron Roberts, with President Ron Roberts, and with our new superintendent. We're having a cybersecurity seminar that will be held at Beyond Housing World Headquarters. And I would invite anyone who works on, who does their work on their computers, anybody who's operating a computer, whether it be in one of the municipality buildings or whether it be in school buildings, that you come to understand how serious it is. If you have a mobile phone, a tablet, laptop, you want to be at this seminar, because what you'll find out is that there are things going on in the cyber world that can affect you greatly. And so we have representatives from Homeland Security that will be there. Information will be coming to us from the Federal Bureau of Investigations. We have one of St. Louis's award-winning leaders in cybersecurity, and we have a professor of cybersecurity that will be coming from one of the universities that will be presenting. That's from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. We will provide lunch for you and something light to get you started in the morning when you get there. But it will be time well spent, and you will leave there understanding many things about what you do on your computers and how critical it is that we understand what we do on our computers so that we are safer as we navigate the cyber world. There are cyber criminals out there of all types, shapes, and sizes, and we need to understand so many different things that they will discuss with you on that day. We have people that this is what they do every day. One of them are the individuals from Homeland Security. This is what they do every day when it comes to trying to assess threat in the cyber world. We have threats from terrorists on many levels, but one of them is in the cyber world. And in that cyber world, crime can be done from as far away as Africa, Asia, Australia, or any place else in the world. And it's done and nobody can do anything about it. But we can do something about it, but we first have to make the effort. So we will have a discussion and try to call upon as many as we can. I would like to have the room filled up at World Headquarters so that we can all be educated about what we face as we open up our computers and laptops. And I'll stop for any questions.
Thank you, Mayor Jackson. Thank you, Dr. Shields. Questions from the board? All right, thank you very much. We always enjoy our collaboration and our partnership with the 24-1 Municipal Partnership. Moving on to item number 4. Item for consent. Distributed on board docs, the items that are presented here, items 5.01 through 5.12. Are there any other there was some emails, some communication regarding clarification on some of the items. Is there any more discussion or any more clarification needed by any of the board members? All right, hearing none. With that, I'll entertain, move on to item number 6. I'll entertain a motion to approve the items for consent.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded that we approve the items presented for consent. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same privilege. The ayes have it. Motion carried. So moving on to item number 7, item for action, mediation agreement with Wright Construction, time extension in the amount of $167,000 paid through bond contingency funds. Dr. Pusateri.
Good evening, board members, Dr. Triplett, members of the community. On Friday, February 24th, a team from Normandy Schools Collaborative, myself, instruction managers from KAI, our architect, and our attorney participated in mediation with Wright Construction, along with their attorney. Wright had brought delay claims that we believed were not accurate, to keep it short. We believe that the failure to bring the steel fabricator on time and under budget was the root cause of the delay. Wright had a number of other reasons. That's kind of the root of the discussion. Wright valued their initial delay claims at $427,000. Normandy valued their delay claims at $0. But we recognized that we wanted to focus on getting the project done on time. We wanted to focus on avoiding lengthy mediation that could stretch out over years. And we contacted board members, Hodge and Roberts, by phone at the beginning of the day to kind of lay a framework where the decision on how the agreement would work out is strongly based on Wright completing the project on time. So there's an incentive for them to finish on time, on schedule on July 19th. After negotiating all day, the parties confirmed with Mr. Roberts by phone and agreed that Normandy will pay Wright $125,000 in 3 monthly installments, May through July. And then, only if Wright finishes on time, we'll pay Wright an additional $42,000 as long as the substantial completion occurs by July 19th. If it's not done, not only will the $42,000 go away, but Wright will begin to incur liquidated damages to the tune of $500 per day after that. Also, as a result, Wright will drop delay claim 2 that they had, delay claim 3, and delay claim 4. And again, we believe those are all rooted in the failure for the steel fabricator to occur. Are there any questions before the vote?
Any question? No questions? No questions. All right. So the item for action is approval of the $167,000 for the time extension. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
It's been moved and probably seconded that we approve the $167,000 for the time extension. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same privilege. The ayes have it. Motion carried. 8 items for information. Project Phoenix update. Dr. McConnell.
Good evening to our board and our superintendent, Dr. Triplett. My name is Tiffany McConnell, and I am Director of Mathematics. And tonight I'll be sharing with you updates on Project Phoenix. Was created in an effort to really mitigate the challenges that we had with teacher shortages. It was also put in place to towards equitable instruction for all students. It also creates job-embedded professional development, not only for the long-term substitutes who are in those classrooms, but for our novice and our experienced teachers as well. It also addresses the need for a virtual and alternative instructional method for students who may be in need of alternate placement. Project Phoenix is currently being implemented at Lucas Crossing Elemental to our 7th and 8th graders. We have approximately 243 students who are participating in Project Phoenix. We have 2 amazing Project Phoenix teachers, Miss Alicia Shannon, who teaches at Lucas Crossing, and Dr. Abby Hattinger, who teaches at Barack Obama. Now, the change for the schools and the grade levels is a direct result to our leads being reassigned to classroom positions. Therefore, Dr. Abby Hattinger is now the 8th grade math teacher at Barack Obama. Project Phoenix has major strengths, but one of the most important strength that Project Phoenix has brought to NSC is that we've had 345 students who have had direct access to rigorous instruction. That's instruction that provides critical information to our students. Students are thinking critically about mathematics. Project Phoenix also addresses barriers to math equity and ensures that all students have access to high quality instruction. It also provides instruction where our students are focusing on mathematical practice standards and they're making those shifts in mathematics instruction. Cognitive engagement has also increased. Our students are thinking about the mathematics. They are thinking logically. They are using their inductive and deductive reasoning skills, abstract reasoning skills, and they're modeling with mathematics. The co-teacher in a Phoenix classroom is not a math teacher, so they too are learning how students develop mathematically and how students construct new ideas. So they're taking these instructional strategies and these methods and they're assimilating them into their existing practices in other content areas. Student efficacy has also increased. Students are owning their learning. They are setting goals and they are monitoring how much progress they're making towards those goals. Shout out to Ms. Shannon, who recognized that we needed an intervention classroom where she is taking students from various classrooms to create one class using data to ensure that she's meeting students' immediate needs. Our iReady usage has also increased, and we attribute this increase to students developing a productive disposition towards mathematics. They are persevering when they are confronted with challenging content, and this enables them to function independently as they proceed with their individual learning paths in iReady. All of the Phoenix classroom lessons are videotaped, and so teachers, students, and parents also have accessibility to Project Phoenix lessons. Project Phoenix opportunities. We recognize that there are differences among our learners and how they experience Project Phoenix. Some students do thrive in a remote setting or a virtual setting while others do not. And so later this month, we are going to send out a survey to our students so that they can give us feedback on how Project Phoenix has impacted their learning. Because the co-teacher is not a math teacher, they sometimes struggle with secondary mathematics. And so what we need to put in place, what we are actually in the process of formatting, is the professional development that we can provide teachers during the onset of the school year and throughout the school year. The Navigator program is a very inquiry-oriented program. So it relies heavily on student discourse, student collaboration, and students have to create conjectures, and they do that together. They test those conjectures together. And so this can be quite difficult in a remote setting. It's difficult when you have over 100 students that are in the classroom to facilitate that process. So again, we have to consider professional development that we provide for our teachers. The Project Phoenix teacher has a lot of balls in the air. They are, of course, instructing. They're minding the chat. They're directing the co-teacher. They're toggling between 6 Desmos lessons. And so this undoubtedly really slows the pacing down sometimes. We want to make sure that we don't leave any students behind. And so the Project Phoenix teacher has to clear up any misconceptions or misunderstandings that students may have. So we've made some adjustments with the pacing so that we can ensure that all content is being taught and all content is being learned. Here's an example of the intervention classroom. This is the data set from 8th grade, where Ms. Shannon actually tracks the diagnostic assessments from window 1 to window 2. You'll see that students have been making some progress. And this is an example of the engagement tracker, that behavioral engagement. Here you'll see that students, about 86% of the students are completing those classroom assignments. So she tracks this, she makes phone calls, she makes sure that she's communicating to parents around the behavioral engagement of our students. Academic growth can be monitored even if, or it can happen even if students are falling below proficiency cuts. And so we pay particular attention to student growth, typical growth and stretch growth. Typical growth is the amount of growth that a student makes over the course of a school year. And stretch growth is what's most important to us. It's the amount of progress that a student must make in order to be on grade level. So we keep our hand on the pulse of proficiency levels, but we also want to monitor how our students are growing so that we can ensure by the end of the school year that they are making grade level growth. They are on grade level. So here is an example of 8th grade at Barak. We have 46% of our students who are making 40% or higher amount of progress towards their stretch growth. It's the same with Lucas Crossing. 46% of the students are making 40% or higher towards their stretch growth, and this is done in January. 6th grade, Lucas Crossing, 34% of students are making 40% or higher in their stretch growth goals. So here we wanted to show Project Phoenix in action. Here we go.
I got input and I got output, right? So I got input and I got output. Remember, if the input repeats any number more than once, it's two. Yes, Mr. Hollins.
I see a lot of people that's don't have their camera on, don't do their paper, them zero. So,
Mr. Hollins is
right
on.
now.
Y'all heard Mr. Hollins on the ones and twos for the grading, right? Cut your cameras on, okay? Cut your cameras on, okay? Thanks, Mr. Hollins. Slope, what's the slope? What's the slope? Throw it in the chat when you know. What's the slope, people? What is the slope? What is it? Throw it in the chat when you know. It is not, okay? It is not Sherman 4x, negative 4x. It is just what? Negative 4. It is just negative 4 to 6.
So first of all, where's the x? It's just an 8. It should be right to it's 8x. You hit me so far.
So Kylie said how she created this table was that she substituted in y would be the total amount for those hours. So Kylie said she substituted 1 and got 30 hours. She substituted 2, she got 60 hours. 3, she got 90 hours. 4, she got 120 hours. And then here, again, where X is 1, Y is the unit rate. So go ahead and write that down. So your assignment for today, okay, is very simple. You are going to turn in partner practice problem number 1, okay?
I have a question, but I did have a statement. I just wanted to thank them for the work that they're doing on Project Phoenix, because Project Phoenix, it grew out of a simple question. We were in staff retreat this past summer, and the question was asked, what will we do if we don't get any additional certified teachers? And so from that question, Project Phoenix grew as a way of taking certified instruction and streaming it into multiple classrooms, so the kids that don't have a certified teacher have direct access to certified instruction. So I thank you for the work that you've done. And one of the things I know we've talked about in the future is that once we've gotten the sea legs on math, we need to be able to see how can we go into ELA and some of the other curriculums that we don't have certified teachers. So we need to start looking at what does that look like as we move into ELA.
Thank you, Mr. Humphrey. Mr. Neal?
No questions, but nice presentation. Thank you.
I don't have any questions either, but I just love the project. I love the progress, and it's so innovative. I wish we could grow it not only here, but share it with other districts pretty soon, too.
Thank you, Ms. Williams. Mr. Hodge? Ms. Patton?
No comments, well done.
Same here. No comments, but thank you. And
Thank
Dr.
you.
McConnell. All right, moving on to number board comments.
Well, I just wanted to share a few days ago, I had an opportunity to participate in a meeting. It was called Equity in Education, and it was done by Farragon Shigog and a number of young people from the 24-1 footprint. And I was extremely pleased by the turnout of students from Normandy, because we met over at the library in Bonita Park off of Midland on I think it's Delport. And in that room, there was probably, I'll say 35 to 40 young people in the room. And of that number, 18 of them were from the Normandy Schools Collaborative. And so what they were doing is talking about how could we improve education within our respective districts, because there was a representative there from Ladue, from Normandy, from St. Louis Public, from St. Louis Community College, and from University City. And it was very good and active dialogue, and I thought it was time well spent. And my only question to the group is, when are we going to do this again? Because I think it was a great conversation. And like I said, the whole audience was high school young people.
Mr. Neal.
Yes, as always, thank you to all of you who are working on behalf of our scholars. Was very good to see the performance of our students and to always know what's going on in the Normandy footprint. Part of what we have to do is to change the narrative and showcase what is taking place. And so as you see things, I just ask that you would continue to make that public, put it out there on Facebook and all the other platforms, and let individuals know all of the great things that are taking place here in the Normandy footprint. So I thank you. I also thank you for appreciating us on the board and the work that we do on behalf of all of the scholars. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Neal. Ms. Williams.
Yes, I want to say, first of all, with Nancy. Nancy Hartman was also a National Merit Scholar. She was a Scholar Quiz winner, and she graduated magna cum laude from St. Louis University. And she also was a summa cum laude friend. I want to thank and recognize the performances of the young people and these athletes sitting out here in front of us. Thank you for your excellence. Thank you for giving your parents. I have to thank your parents for letting us have you. The performances and the recognition of the athletes always brings me back to why we're here. And I want to thank the administration and staff of all the schools. Your creativity is on display. I mean, the 3-4-1 basket, look at this, it's a nameplate. It's made out of pencils and gravel things. It's just darling. And this is me. Okay, so one of the little babies drew it, and I've got all 5 fingers and everything on here. And a wonderful doll, a ceremonial doll, African ceremonial doll. I mean, these are just wonderful things. And then administration, I used my pad and pen tonight during the meeting. So I thank all of you for everything. This was a very, very good meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Williams. Jahad.
Good evening. I'm very excited to be here. I'll try to be brief, but I've got a whole lot that I want to say. But first, I'm going to say thank you to everyone for being here. Thank you for these wonderful gifts. This is absolutely amazing. Everything from snacks to artwork. This is an incredible gift, and we're very honored to serve in this capacity. We've got lots of reasons to celebrate tonight. But one thing that I do want to point out that I'm super excited about is initiatives like Project Phoenix, where our folks are creating solutions for our folks. Project Phoenix is an internal innovation developed by our own teachers, and it was our own teachers and educators, and so that there are limited expenses, if any, that go outside of our district to do this innovation. For those who've been watching the news, other districts are paying external organizations upward of $100, I think it was like $1 million, some $600,000 or $700,000 to get these kinds of innovations, paying external sources, and they cannot do the kind of job that internal folks who know our students and know our schools the way that our folks can. So hats off to our internal innovators on that. Later today, we will be talking about all of the wonderful teachers who have chosen our school district. And I did a quick analysis of the numbers, of the number of people who have chosen to come here and will stay. I am really excited, just by some fuzzy math, that we have over half of our teachers in the district that have been here over 10 years. Over half. Now, y'all know how folks change their jobs every year or two. To have that many of our teachers to commit to us for 10 years is absolutely amazing. The only thing more amazing about that is the next two numbers that I'm going to tell you. About 40% of those teachers have been here over 20 years. And the next 30, almost a third of all of our teachers have chosen us repeatedly year after year for over 22 years. This is an amazing commitment to our district and our students, and we should be very proud of that. Here's even more evidence. On last week, we had a chance to meet the candidates we're voting to add new candidates. They will be elected to this school board. We have over six candidates? There are 6 candidates competing to sit in these seats where we are, that are excited to join this mission and the work that we're doing. That deserves a round of applause. You are doing the work that is attracting folks to our district to serve, for families to move here, and for folks to serve. I'm excited to be a part of Normandy now. Thank you.
I must say that I am very humbled, honored, and blessed to have the opportunity to serve. But what excites me are the teachers, the administrators, and the students. Because in these times that we live in, you, the students, could be doing a whole lot of other things, but coming to school every day to learn. So I ask, as you move through your experiences, I need you all to be open to the possibilities. I need you to bring your best self every day. And I want you to have a little bit of fun on your journey. Parents, I need you to stay focused and encouraged, because without you, the students will not be. Community, I need you all to stand for what is right and what is good for this community. So I thank each and every one of you that bring and contribute all that you have to make sure that we are the best school district in St. Louis County. So it's going to take all of us to make that happen. So thank you again for the opportunity to serve. Thank you, students. Thank you, parents. Thank you, teachers and administrators, for the opportunity to serve. I'm proud to be a Normandy Viking graduate. I'm proud to continue to live in this community that I call home, that allows me to just say really, really good things about Normandy when people tell me otherwise. So thank you. And thanks for the presents. I always like getting presents, so thank you for the presents.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Patton. Thank you to my fellow board members for your service and your commitment to this board. It's no less than a beautiful struggle, and we put up with one another, but we do it out of care and out of love for this district. So thank you. Thank you for the recognition today by the students, the teachers, the principals, staff, administrators. It warms me to be able to be recognized in that way. So thank you. Thank you to the student representation today. Although I'm not a Normandy Viking High School graduate or alumnus, I do commandeer the Viking pride, and I did matriculate through Normandy up through junior high school. And I remember being in junior high school, a part of what we called the jazz choir. We had a junior high school then. I couldn't sing worth a lick, but I would not be able to show up with these kids today, but they did a very wonderful job. And we got to continue to support the fine arts in our school district. as well as the sports, and continue to represent us, young men. We appreciate you, and coaches. Thank you for mentoring and doing a great job. I'm especially appreciative of everyone in this district and their ability and their capacity to translate adversity into opportunities. Opportunities for innovation, opportunities for excellence, opportunities for growth, opportunities for love. Because if you didn't love what you do or love yourself, you would not be here trying to make this district better. So really appreciate each and every one of you for your tenacity, your commitment, and your leadership and your love for this district. And we will continue to make Normandy a better place. Thank you. At this point, I'll yield to Dr. Triplett. Oh, sorry. I think it is worth these pictures. You have to see this. I mean, this is, if that's not capturing me, I don't know what it, even the bow tie. Thank you so much for these. These are. I think so too. I think so too. These will be placed properly in my home. Thank you so much. We will, if there are, I will yield the floor to Dr. Triplett.
Good evening, community members. Thank you, board, for all that you do day in and day out. I can reach out to you at any point in time, send emails, and you'll respond. Just an update, some updates. My first 2.5 weeks have been, I feel like, an entertainer. I've been on the road. I've been going to buildings, visiting schools, community meetings with the 23 communities, several mayors, committee people, council people, you name it, skating functions, movie theater, I mean, you name it. Last night, I sat outside with some seniors from the high school. They were at McDonald's waiting on their parents, and so it was about 9:30, and I asked what school did they go to, and they said the high school, and so I asked who were they waiting on. They were waiting on their sister to pick them up. So I took my chair out because I was tired. Took my chair out of the car and I sat there and waited until the sister came. But that's what we do when we're family. We make sure everybody's safe. So the narrative around what we do and how we do things has to be protecting each other. We know we have naysayers and we know we have negative narratives surrounding us, but it's incumbent upon us to make sure we change that narrative. Those kiddos over there, and as old as they are, they're still our babies. And we still have to protect them. We still have to plow the road so that they can walk down that path with no resistance. That's what I'm committed to do. That's what I'm committed to teaming up and collaborating with you to do. This board has charged me to make sure I steer the ship in the right direction. And I can't steer a ship with 12 oars. I need teammates to do so. So we have to make sure we're on the same team when we're steering this boat, because it's for them. Not one teacher, not one principal or board member moves students. Teachers move students. We have to make sure we're supporting those teachers who stand in front of students every day to move them. I don't have a lot to say, but I want the board to know that I'm very, very appreciative that you've taken the time out of your busy schedule on a Saturday on January 7th to interview 1,000 folk for this position, subsequently supporting me as your superintendent, your new superintendent. I also want to thank the 23 mayors who stood strong and said, we like all three candidates, but we think what we need now is Dr. Triplett. Also love the community members. The community stood up and said, I think that's the guy we need. High school. And I make sure that I'm having conversations, real conversations with every stakeholder I can. Because every stakeholder has a voice and need an ear to listen to. I have some pretty big shoulders. I wear a size 54 coat. I'm not fat, I'm just kind of big boned. But I can take a lot on my shoulder. I have to be that person who nurses this fracture. There's a culture change that has to happen. There's trust that has to be rebuilt. Academics will come. I promise you that will come. But the hardest piece is the trust amongst each other and the collaboration and the friendship and the camaraderie that we have to do together. That's my promise. They say Normandy now, I say the new Normandy. Thank you.
Dr. Triplett. Executive session to discuss the personnel items. I will entertain a motion to adjourn to executive session.
So move.
Ms. Barnett, did you? Yes. Yes.
Yes.